All right, cool. So let's wrap it up, man. Our last segment for the Coach T, the first with BG and Zay, the first one, the NBA show. We will talk about. We'll make a couple predictions. Let's say we'll talk about the upcoming games, the top games, quote unquote, that we feel in our hearts are the top games for the upcoming week. I will begin. I have 4 of them, and we'll talk about them. And if there are any other games we want to talk about, we can do that. So you guys just interject how you feel. The first one that I saw will be Wednesday of this upcoming week, January 12th. You have the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference against the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. Number 2 being the Brooklyn Nets, number 1 being the Chicago Bulls. This game will be hosted on, or I guess you can view it on ESPN at 9 p.m. Central on Wednesday. I don't have the line for this game, and I realized that the NBA, they don't have lines this early. I mean, we're talking 3 days out, but I would assume it's going to be a close number, a close line. I would assume the Chicago Bulls are going to be the favorites since they're at home. But what are you guys' take on that matchup? What are you intrigued to see for that game?
I mean, like you said, man, it's the top 2 teams in the East. The Bulls are hot right now. They dropped one. The Nets, they're also real hot right now too. I mean, they got 3 of the,
Kyrie can play in this game.
Yeah, and Kyrie can play in this game. So they got 3 of the top 15 guys in the league. So it's going to be interesting to see how teams adjust to the way Brooklyn's playing. I mean, we talked about it after our game the other day when we were, eating some pizza, man. It's almost better for the Nets to be on the road in the playoffs because then they get Kyrie back. I mean, Kyrie is a stud, man. I know he's had some off the court, people want to call it drama or whatever, but I mean, he's just a man of his morals and he knows what he wants to do and he sticks to it. And put all that aside, he's still one of the best players in the league, and he's probably got the best handles in the league ever. So I mean, this is a great matchup, man. The Bulls, they're gonna have to play some great defense. They're going to have to be locked in on that end of the floor, try to keep this game hopefully under 110, closer to 100, and see what they can do.
Yeah, and to that point, you talk about the Nets being away. The Nets in their last 5 road games, they won them all. Like, they're actually, I think, if I remember correctly, and I read a stat, they're actually better this year on the road than they are at home in New Jersey. So, go figure. Zay, what do you feel about this game? What are you intrigued to see?
Definitely the Bulls, coming off what could have been a longer streak, they lost tonight to the Mavericks 113-99. I feel like they're going to be hungry. These guys, they haven't lost more than 3 times in a row this season. So, but they've also followed up each win outside of one. They followed up each win with another win. So I could see them getting this win against the Pistons early in the week and then turning back to get the win against the Nets. These guys are hungry. It's a young group of guys, and they've already defeated the Nets once this year. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome game. I definitely agree. From the Nets point of view, having Kyrie Irving, that's going to be pretty cool to see. Those tickets probably very expensive, and that line is probably Vegas.
Well, get us the hookups, eh? Come on, a lot of people in Chicago, man. Get us the hookup, man. I'm trying to get floor seats, my brother.
Hey, for real. But no, yeah. So I can only imagine the lines in Vegas probably. Their heart's gonna be beating fast when they making that line because it could really go either way. It's gonna come down to the final stretch. If you look at the last score, that was 111 to 107 back on the 4th of December. That was a close game, but at the same time, you had DeMar DeRozan finishing with 30 plus points. So if you could get that type of performance and get that type of performance for the Bulls, it's going to be a good game for them. Also, if you can contain Kyrie, which he wasn't playing last time, it'd be a good game for the Nets. So the Nets, Bulls, good game to watch.
Yeah, definitely good game to watch. I'm excited to watch it again. This will be a 9 o'clock Central Time on ESPN Wednesday the 12th. Kyrie will be able to play, so that's going to be really good. Again, I would assume that the Bulls are going to be a slight favorite here. I don't know what the over-under would be. I would definitely take the over here. TV game. I just feel like these guys are going to show out. And like you guys mentioned, these teams have played before. Chicago won the last matchup in Brooklyn, or I guess in New Jersey, because that's where they play. But again, I mean, this game is pretty much a week before All-Star break. I think earlier in the week, I know the Bulls play the Pistons. I think maybe they'll sit a couple guys just prepping for this game, just to load up for that one. Brooklyn, they have an earlier game next week. I think they may do a similar thing, because to me, these are one of those games where, yes, it's a regular season game, but it will have a lot of importance when it comes to home court advantage, and when it comes to just psychologically, having an advantage over that opponent if you end up facing this team. One of these teams end up facing the other in the actual playoffs. Next big matchup that I saw next week that we're going to talk about Thursday, the next day, the January 13th, we're going to the Western Conference. You have the number 2 team in the Western Conference, which you just hit on, Golden State, who clearly has Klay Thompson back. They're going to be fully loaded there, and then they're facing the Milwaukee Bucks, who are number 4 in the Eastern Conference. This is a TNT game, 6:30 tip-off Central Time. I'll start first here. I like the Bucks in this matchup. Like, the Bucks have always, to me, been a team that they have always represented correctly, especially at home when they are playing a quote-unquote another top team. I don't know what their record is against Golden State over the years, but I feel like they have fared pretty well against Golden State recently. Now, again, Golden State has not had Klay Thompson. They haven't been fully healthy over the last couple of years, but I just feel like Milwaukee Bucks, they normally represent when it comes to, playing another top team, and they'll be at home here. So I really like them there. I'm intrigued to see, again, we talked about him numerous times, but I want to see how Klay Thompson plays. And I also want to see how Draymond, how he navigates, again, to me, I know Steph Curry's the listed point guard, but in my opinion, Draymond's their point guard. So I want to see how he navigates, what's their game plan when it comes to playing against the Bucks, a team that has a lot of front court presence. When you talk about Giannis, you talk about Portis, you talk about Brook Lopez, you talk about some of the other guys they have in the front court, and then we know about their guards with Middleton and Drew Holiday. I just want to see how Draymond is able to navigate, because he's going to be guarding Giannis, and then he's going to have to turn around and play point guard. So that is going to be a really good matchup, and I'm going to be locked in and tuned in for that game. What do you guys think?
I think Klay goes for over 30. I'm telling you, Klay
30 piece, huh?
Ever since that top 75 team came out, Klay, I mean, this dude probably has it all posted all over his room, man.
We need that Jordan meme. Hey, and I took that as disrespect.
This dude, I'm telling you, this dude feels disrespected. He knows, and I think he got, he should have been on that list, man. He's probably, some argue, the second best shooter of all time, man. And I know Reggie and Ray Allen, they got, more career threes made, but when you talk about just a pure jump shot, Klay's probably got the prettiest shot in the
textbook,
history, man. I mean, this dude scored over 40 points one time with under 6 dribbles. I mean, he's a stud.
Over 60 points. I think he had 37 in a quarter. Another game.
I mean, he's just on a different level, man, and he's hungry. I mean, tonight I didn't expect him to have as good of a start as he did tonight. He'll have another game under his belt before he goes into that Milwaukee game. So I think he'll play not a full game, but his minutes will pick up a little bit by the time they get to Milwaukee. I think he goes for over 30. I really do.
I like it.
And the Warriors take the dub.
Okay. All right. So you're making a little prediction. Okay. I got the Bucks there. You got the Warriors. BG. Zay, you want to break the tie, man? What do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Klay Thompson. Yes, we're glad he's back, but this isn't 2 years ago. Tonight he went 7 for 18, so that's 38% shooting, 3 for 8 from 3. Yes, they got the win, but you look at his plus minus. According to ESPN, it was -2. So
come on,
you know, Bucks are not the Cavs, and I would look for that to be a factor. You know, not only are the Bucks not the Cavs, but also Klay hasn't played in 2 years, so his endurance isn't going to be there enough for him to play a full game. You know, he played 20 minutes tonight, and I just don't see Klay being able to do it consistently right away. You know, if he is, please prove me wrong. I definitely agree. He definitely should be in the top 75 list for players. He's definitely top 30 or no, top 20 NBA players right now. But you know, he just came off of an injury, so we have to look at that. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Yeah, so people out there, Zay, I'm gonna make you our resident prop guy. Our resident betting guide. Okay, so if there are any props there, BG said Klay over 30. Maybe you can search that, look that up, man, and see if you can find some good odds there. But you will be our resident betting / prop guy. Okay, I'll make you that. All right. I got one more matchup. I had 2 on my list, but it's getting kind of late, and the third on my list, we already talked about these 2 teams. That would be Friday night, January 14th on ESPN. You got Golden State against the Bulls. I think that's going to be a wonderful game. I mean, that goes without saying. But I want to talk about this next game and our final game. This will be Friday, same night, January 14th. This is also on ESPN. This is the 9 o'clock Central Time tip-off. So this is the late game. This will be the Dallas Mavericks against the Memphis Grizzlies. And the reason why I am pinpointing this game is the fact that you have number 4 versus number 5 in the Western Conference. So again, number 4 in any conference, that means you have home court advantage. So you got to be able to take advantage of that. So this is 4 versus 5. So you know they're going to be battling it out. And the fact that, again, these are teams that they're hot teams that have players that we've talked about and teams that we've talked about all throughout this show about their potential and what they could do and just the type of season they're having thus far. So I'm really, 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 really intrigued by this game. I would be shocked if Luka doesn't play. I would imagine Ja Morant's going to play. He's been there. Dylan Brooks, another cat that we never talk about for Memphis, but I love him. I know he's kind of been in and out of the lineup. But to me, it's another matchup. I'm going with the home team, y'all. Like, I'm going with Memphis. They have proven to me, again, winners of 8 straight. They've beaten the Lakers. They've beaten the Nets. They've beaten some top dogs, and they've gone against the best, and they do not back down. If you guys know anything about the Memphis Grizzlies, you know they don't back down, and that starts with Ja Morant. He's a dog. He's a player that the players follow after. He ain't scared of nobody, and their entire team plays that way. So I got the Grizzlies in this matchup, but again, I think that's going to be a wonderful game. Again, a tip-off, 9 p.m. Central Time on ESPN, the nightcap for Friday night. And the fact that it's a Friday night game, I was actually telling my buddy this. These NBA games on the weeknight or on the weeknights are totally different than the weekend game. So this Friday night game where all the fans going to be, they just got paid. It's Friday night. You know what I mean? The building's going to be packed. This is a TV game. It's going to be a bunch of points scored. And I got the home team again winning this matchup.
Yeah, like we talked about it, it's probably the 2 hottest teams in the West right now. The Mavs won 6 straight coming in tonight. They beat the Bulls, so that's 7 straight. They got the Knicks coming up. I'm thinking the Mavs will win that one. So it looks like the Mavs might take an 8-game winning streak or more going into this game. Right now, Memphis is up pretty big on the Lakers right now. So if they hold that one out, they're looking at a 9-game winning streak. So it could be the battle of the winning streaks going on. But I think you touched on it, and I'm going to have to go with the Mavs just because they are sitting in that 5th seed behind Memphis. And they're 4.5 games behind them right now. And I think this one, they need to make a little bit of a mid-season push right here just to try to gain some ground and not lose some ground on Memphis. But I do love Ja Morant. I think Ja Morant, he goes into every game with an opposing point guard like Luka, and just wants to prove that he deserves to be on that level. So I think he'll have a big showing, but I think at the end of the day, the Mavs get it done. A big night from Luka. Let's go with a triple-double from Luka.
I like it. And we talk about props. We talk about big performances. You got triple-double for Luka in that matchup. My boy, I'm telling y'all, man, check him out next time you see the Grizzlies play. Desmond Bane right now against the Lakers through what? 3 quarters? Not even halfway through 3 quarters. He's got 18 points, got 4 rebounds, got 2 assists. He's 4 of 6 from 3. So in this matchup against the Mavs on Friday, I got Bane going for 30 plus. So you can check the odds on that, Zay. Get it back to us, at a later date. But fans out there, for sure, Desmond Bane is a name to watch, and I think he getting a 30 piece against the Mavs this Friday in a win. Zay, you're muted. I'm sure you're making some great points while being muted.
Bouncing off that point though, Desmond Bane, you just look at this Memphis roster. These guys can ball. You got Desmond Bane, obviously Ja Morant, but you have a good quality of role players on the team as well. Kyle Anderson, Steven Adams, a great veteran, and then Jared Culver, Jaren Jackson Jr., Tyus Jones. This is a squad. Mm-hmm. This is a squad, and it's not saying that Dallas isn't a squad, but these guys, they're on a roll. When you know how to win, you know how to win, and these guys know how to win. And with Ja Morant doing what he's doing this year, averaging 25 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, he's a triple-double waiting to happen. It's eventually going to happen. And I think in a game like Dallas, when he's playing Luka, another young rising star, he's going to have to prove himself. And those are the games where he's shown that he can come and he will play his heart out for those games. And, you see it tonight playing the Lakers, and he's doing this. I mean, he's not having the best game, but he also bounces back. He bounces back. In the last 10 games, he's been averaging 27 points per game. So that not only shows you that he's scoring, but also if he does have a bad game, he's going to bounce back. And then also, last point, you look at his plus minus tonight. Even though he's 4 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists to this point in the game, he's +5 on the plus minus ratio. I'm a big plus minus guy. What are you doing on the court to help produce and help your team get the W?
Big analytics guy.
Doing something.
Big analytics guy, man. You seem like a very smart guy, so that makes sense. Cool. So, you guys want to add anything else for that game or any other game you guys saw? I mean, to me, those were the games that were the top games. That if you're talking about playoff implications, you're talking about just matchups of top teams. Those were the games that I saw in next week's slate where I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a nice little battle. I'm gonna be tuned in for sure.
Yeah, the only other thing I had was on Tuesday night you got Warriors at the Grizzlies, so that's a nice little game.
There were a lot of Warriors, man. There were a lot of Warrior options. That was one.
They got a tough week next week, man.
Yeah, they do.
Clay's opening up to a tough week, and then Saturday night we talked about it a little bit, but you got Philly going to Miami, the 5 seed in the East versus the 3 seed Philly. 7 out of their last 8 on a hot streak right now and be balling out. But man, Miami's playing well too, man. They got a lot of guys that just play their role. You got Jimmy Buckets. Bam's been out for a while. He's probably gonna be out for a few more weeks.
Jimmy Butler is out for a little bit with the foot injury.
Yeah, so
they're used to guys being in and out of the lineup. You're right.
Yeah, so I mean, this next guy up there, and they got a good culture down there in Miami. South Beach, doing it right down in South Beach. So that's a nice little matchup on Saturday night as well.
The Mafia, Miami Mafia for sure. All right, guys. I mean, that's gonna wrap it up, man. I want to, hey, for the fans out there, I'm sure right now they're clapping it up, so I'm gonna clap it up for you guys, man. I'll add a little sound effect, a little clap, 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 clap. Thank you guys for doing this. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow, so Don't worry, you'll see my face more often, man, or a lot more often than the fans will, because I see you guys every day. So, wonderful job tonight. I always end it with, you guys have anything you want to say to the fans, to the people out there, or do you have any special shout outs? Your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your girlfriend, your cat, dog, your roommate, your homie, your homegirl, whatever it is. You got any shout outs? You got anything you want to say to the people out there? Shoot.
Nah, I mean, the only shout out I got, and we joke about it, but hopefully we can get Coach Mike Brown on the show sometime soon. The other partner in crime to our coaching staff. It'd be nice to get him on, but we know his takes are pretty biased, one-sided takes. So
shout out Michael Brown, man. Shout out Michael Brown.
Putting a practice plan together for tomorrow, watching some game film, so he doesn't have time for this kind of stuff. But
no, shout out to him, man. I like that. Shout out to our team too, man. Zay, what you got?
Yeah, definitely shout out to Coach Brown. I know he would enjoy this, even though he's a hard worker, and I definitely respect that. But I know he would enjoy being on something like this. Maybe, once, you never know, Coach Brown. So hopefully you listening. Hopefully you could join us one day. But nah, shout out to the normal, my mom, my dad. I know you guys are going to be listening, and my girlfriend. I know you guys are all going to be listening. Shout out to all of you guys.
Shout out to the fam, man.
Shout out to the fam, and definitely shout out to Coach T's audience. You guys are amazing. And I see you guys on the internet and just love it. I love it, and I'm glad to be a part of this with you guys.
I don't think I ever really did this, at least not for a while, but I definitely want to shout out my mom, my dad. I want to shout out my siblings. I want to shout out my lovely wife. I want to shout out my son, who is now actually officially on the intro. I put my son on the intro. So if you hear a little baby voice on the intro with the drops, that is my son Tyson. So I had to do that, man. And my wife is actually on the intro too a little bit. So shout out to them. I'm actually about to go hang with my wife now. We got a little free time. The boy is with his grandparents, so we can maybe drink some wine, sip a little bit, and just sit back and chill. So fans out there, as always, thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Continue to listen. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend, and then tell another friend about the show. And we'll continue this, man. I'm happy to have you guys, BG and Zay. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for your patience. We talked about this for a long time. I know I got the college football show wrapping up. Tomorrow is the last college football game, and then we'll have one more show with that. NFL the playoffs are right around the corner, so football is kind of on the tail end. So we figured this would be a great opportunity to get right into the